Yeah, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning, ma'am.
4 minutes until noon. Uh, Again, please switch on your videos, everyone. Otherwise, I'll have to remove. Abhijit, Abdul, Omar. Alright. So, hopefully, we'll finish this chapter today. The next topic is psychology and other disciplines. Okay. Don't confuse this with the branches of psychology. Branches of psychology is psychology. Each and every branch that we have learned, that is psychology. Subfields of psychology or branches of psychology, that is that. Now this one is the different other disciplines which are related to psychology, or how can we relate our subject to other different subjects or other disciplines, other areas of study. That is what we are going to discuss in this portion. Now we have so many topics coming up, even economics, politics, then computer science, law, criminology, everything. So you just tell me whichever discipline you know that is connected to psychology. Which other science or which other field is related to psychology?
Criminal.
Criminology, philosophy.
Tell me how it is related also.
I'm not sure.
Find it.
I'm in criminology to find out motives behind certain.
Criminal acts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ma'am, is forensics included?
What is included?
Forensics.
Forensics, yeah, forensic psychology is there. So that becomes a branch of psychology. Here we are discussing about the disciplines of field of study that is not psychology essentially, but related to it in some or the other way.
Ma'am, law
Law, how is law related?
to question or to effectively question the convict or someone to get your desired answers.
Okay. Have you heard of eyewitness testimony?
Yeah,
What is it?
the testimony given by someone who was present when the crime was committed.
Who claims to be the eyewitness? They give a statement that this is the thing that they witnessed. That is eyewitness testimony. And they can get help from, these law officials, they can get help from the psychologist in order to find out if this eyewitness is actually trustworthy. Like, is the eyewitness actually telling the truth? Okay, then. Every time when we discuss some or the other topic, I tell you that you have to think from a dash perspective or dash point of view. What is that?
Third person.
Huh?
Third person.
Not third person.
Philosophy.
Philosophical perspective. Because most of the concepts in psychology, they were essentially based on philosophy earlier. From philosophy, we gained so many top concepts in psychology. Then only we started with the research and experiments. That is how the contemporary psychology developed. So the basis were in philosophy. So philosophy is one field that is related to psychology. Then
How does artificial intelligence count? Developing artificial intelligence.
artificial intelligence is related to which field of study?
Computer science.
Computer science. Then think. Where else would psychology come? Even from the first day itself, we are discussing that psychology is there everywhere. It's actually flowing in the air, isn't it? So, related to each and everything happening in your life, there is a field of study. So, now you are sitting at home. I wouldn't ask you to get out of your home physically, but mentally you can, right? So, start walking and see what's happening around.
Ma'am, school counselor.
School counselor, counseling again is related to psychology, right? It comes as a part of psychology. Counseling psychology or educational psychology. That's again it's kind of a subfield of psychology. Again, I'm talking about some other discipline like philosophy. It's not psychology, right? Philosophy is an entirely different discipline of study or entirely different area of study. But that is linked to psychology somehow. That's what the topic that we are discussing now. Computer science. Is that psychology? Do we learn computers in psychology? No. But that is another field, but it has links with psychology. So think of topics like that. I mean, fields like that.
Teaching profession.
Politics.
Politics is there. Yes. How can we
Teaching
make use of
profession.
psychology in politics? What did you say, Devika?
Ma'am, teaching profession.
Teaching profession, that's profession, right? Is it a field of study?
I don't know.
Is it
I
a
think,
discipline?
like, teachers need to understand the psychology of students.
Yes,
to know
yes.
them
In
better.
that profession, yes. If we are discussing about the professions, then we can include that. But just see the heading. It's psychology and other disciplines. Discipline means an area of study. Okay. So if you're discussing profession, yes, right. In every profession, we require psychology, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Yes, Amar. How is
Psychiatrist.
again? Don't go off track. That's again a profession, my dear. Tell me about the areas of study. Omar, tell me how we can make use of psychology in politics.
Ma'am,
Can you
about
guide a
debates and all.
Huh? Can you please switch on your video? Abhijit and Sanam also. Please switch on your videos. And yeah, tell. I didn't hear you properly. Omar. Or can anybody tell me?
Ma'am,
Voice is breaking.
for like winning arguments, net connection.
Meanwhile, the others think of other disciplines. And tell me. Abdul, there is a clue in something what you told. Search for the field of study. That's all? Emily. Or Anila. Who was that? Business. Yes. How can we use psychology in business, or how is it related to psychology?
help to make profit in a business?
Helps to make profit in business. We can use so many psychological strategies for business, isn't it? Yes. Okay. What about politics that Omar told us? How can we use it?
To understand the mindset of the people and how they'll react to certain policies taken up by the government.
Yes, especially during elections, election campaigns, psychological strategies are very useful. Okay, I think any more points?
Ma'am, biology?
Biology, yes. Biology is a field, but again in biology we have a related field of psychology. Which is it? Which was the branch?
Psychology of
Which was it? Which was the branch of psychology related to biology?
Human brain.
Is that a branch? Human brain?
Neuropsychology.
Neuropsychology. Yes, correct. Okay. Do you have any idea why this man is here? I'll erase and
To
then.
say hi to us.
Who said that? Okay, now before we start discussing, tell me, why is that man there? You want to see him once more?
ma'am.
Mm.
Ma'am, the figure of the man is there because it'll catch our eyes, it'll catch our attention, it'll make something attractive.
Is it? Is it catching your attention?
Yes, ma'am. Before even I read the heading, I actually saw the man first.
You looked at the man. Okay. What other opinions do you have? Why is he here? That's all? To say hi and to catch your attention. That's all?
To make it interesting.
Huh?
To make it interesting.
To make what interesting?
Ma'am, to make the slide interesting, otherwise it will be very black.
Wait. What did Abhinav say? To make what interesting?
Title interesting. Means the bored students, when they see it, they will get interested by the pictures.
Oh, okay. Abhilash.
Ma'am, I think you just put it there because the slide was too empty.
Might be. Then, girls, I don't want you to be silent. Please speak out something. They are good at laughing, but they won't speak. Come on. In the other class, it's just the opposite. Boys are very silent, girls are very outspoken there. Come on.
Sir will,
Yes, Amal?
sir will make interest in psychology.
What?
Picture makes
Picture makes psychology interesting.
Yes.
Am I not there to make psychology interesting? Am I not enough?
You are enough.
Okay, so next day onwards I'll remove this guy. Okay. Then, rest of you, why is he here? Tell me. Should I call out names now? Meryl. Tell me whatever you're thinking about. Don't keep it in your minds.
Ma'am, he looks like a gentleman. So like when you put him, I thought of discipline. Like it points out discipline.
Okay. Then,
It should be for asking us why that.
your voice is breaking, Abdul.
And to ask us the minister.
To ask why that man is standing there. That's why I put it there. Is it? Is that what you told? Yes, okay. We had a part. Okay, Meryl, show me your face. Tell me, why is the guy there?
No, something related to that topic.
Something related to the topic. Okay, how many of you wondered why that guy is there? No one. Only me. Okay, let it be. So, topic is in your lecture note you can note down psychology and other disciplines. The first one will be, now before that the introduction. See, these are this is a picture given in your textbook. Those who have the textbook, you might know. These fields will be the topics that we are discussing today. Okay, so we have political science, education, economics, music and fine arts, law, criminology, mass communication, sociology, architecture and engineering, medicine or psychiatry, Abdul, then computer science, philosophy. Okay, so any discipline which deals with people would definitely recognize the relevance of knowledge of psychology. Similarly, psychologists also acknowledge the relevance of other disciplines in understanding human behavior. This trend has led to the emergence of interdisciplinary approach in the field of psychology. So generally, psychology is not an isolated field. It has relation to some other fields, and other fields of study also gain concepts or gain help from the field of psychology. So there is an interrelationship between psychology and the other fields. That is why psychology is known as one interdisciplinary field or interdisciplinary approach. In psychology, generally we follow interdisciplinary approach, and when we work in a hospital setting, generally we have an interdisciplinary team, which means if a patient comes with a particular complaint, that person gets help from the psychiatrist, from psychologist, then maybe clinical psychologist or counseling psychologist, child psychologist, somebody, and social worker, clinical social workers will be there, then clinical psychiatric nurse will be there to assist. Then similarly the other staff nurses, other nurses who are specialized in this field of psychology or mental health, they will also be there to discuss a case or to provide assistance or help for the client or the patient. Okay, so we have in most of the hospitals we have an interdisciplinary team for psychology or mental health. And first one is philosophy. As I told you, most of the earlier concepts in psychology, they were taken from philosophy, from the field of philosophy. That is why some of the topics we find it very difficult to understand. We have to think in depth in order to gain the essence of those concepts. Okay. So, philosophy is a set of ideal standards or beliefs used to describe behavior and thought. So, what is essentially philosophy? It is a set of ideals, standards or beliefs, and they are used to describe behavior and thought. That is philosophy, a set of ideal standards or beliefs. So, if you have a set of principles in life that you follow, that is I am going to be honest all throughout my life. If that is my principle in life, that is my philosophy of life. See, based on the individual, we all have different philosophies of life, isn't it? We have certain ideals, we have certain standards, which we think is the right thing or right thing to do or the right form to be. All those things comes under philosophy. Now, until the end of 19th century, most of the topics like emotions, motivation, nature of mind, etc. were of concern to the field of philosophy. But now we have all those concepts in psychology, isn't it? When we discussed the introduction part, we discussed about emotions, motivations, nature of mind, etc. And the schools of psychology, remember, structuralist, functionalist, behaviorist, they are all focusing on this nature of mind. Structuralists say that they have certain parts or elements or units, and the whole structure has to be studied if you have to study about the mind. Functionalists, they discuss about the adaptive functions of mind, how things work in the mind. So that is how they study the nature of mind. So all these concepts were a part of philosophy earlier, but now we have it in psychology also. Later, psychologists adopted experimental approaches. Experimental approaches means they started research, they started testing hypotheses. They started forming hypotheses, then testing hypotheses, forming theories, and so on. And contemporary psychology hence emerged. So it emerged from philosophy, basically. And most of the origins of them are in Western culture. It's of Western origin that we have already discussed. So philosophy is the first discipline. Now the next one is medicine. Medicine, how is it related to medicine? Think how psychology can work in the field of medicine.
How the medicine affects the body or the mind, the behavior.
Like, we can study that. That is okay, fine.
I have to motivate patients to keep them on the loop and keep them calm so that they don't panic.
Okay. Then, where can we apply psychology if we are in the medical field? Tell me examples, I mean definite incidents or situations where we can apply psychology.
Someone is depressed.
I cannot hear.
Antidepressants.
Antidepressants?
Prescribing antidepressants for those
Prescribing antidepressants for patients.
like those who are serious depression.
No dear, your voice is not clear. Prescribing antidepressants, I heard that much. What if the patient is not willing to take the medicine?
Psychology is used in the treatment for COVID-19 itself.
For what?
Ma'am, for the current pandemic, COVID-19.
COVID-19, how?
Ma'am, they say that people, if they don't have a will, or if they believe that they shall die off, so they will. Like, but then some people, they motivate them, and they tell that they will be able to survive, and if they're motivated, or if they think that they will, they actually do survive. And there have been several experiments as well.
Yes.
Which prove.
So, I think what you're trying to explain is if the general information regarding the negative effects that this this virus can have, the impact that it can have on us, if more information is given on that, if awareness is created on that, then people tend to be more frightened, isn't it? So they'll be more cautious towards it. Then another form of motivation, that is one form, through motivation, through motivating individuals to create self-will. Self-will in the sense to improve their willpower. And we also learned that mind and body are related to each other, isn't it? So if we believe, or if we intend to survive, then to an extent we can, because it also influences our immune system. So and if we get scared too much also, that's a problem, because our immune system goes down. So there it is applicable, yes. Then again, in the question I asked, what if the patient is not willing to take the medicine?
The doctor can, speak to the patient and, get through him or her and let the person know that they can benefit with his treatment.
Yeah.
Doctors will give sedation to the patient and give
But what if the patient is at home? Can the doctor come daily and give sedations?
no.
No. So for patients who get discharged, the doctors have to make sure that they follow the medical regimen, isn't it? Because at the right time they need to have the medicine in right amounts also. The dosage of medicine also matters. So before they leave or before they start the medical regimen, they can be counseled. Or these medical practitioners like doctors, they can use psychological strategies to ensure that these patients take their medicines at correct time and at correct dosages. For that they can use, for that we can apply psychology. Then another situation is for breaking the bad news. In many situations, psychologists are called upon because doctors might not know how to break that bad news to the family members. If somebody has a major illness, a terminal illness, or if one of their family members has passed away. For all these things, psychologists might be called upon. There was one of our teachers. He shared an experience with us, and there were so many doctors in that hospital, but none of them agreed to break the bad news, and he had to come from a faraway place just because of this reason, to break the bad news. Okay, so for that also we can apply psychology. We'll see the rest in the slide. Psychologists have a major role in hospitals too in preventing people from engaging in health hazardous behavior. That is important, like addictive behaviors, drug overdose, even the medicines, they can engage in overdose, isn't it? So to make awareness about that, then adhering to prescribed doctor's regimen, that is the medical regimen that we talked about. Then handling patients in the ICU. Some people might be very much terrified that they are in the ICU. So to handle them. Then post-operative care. Before and after operations or surgeries, some patients would require this one, counseling. Okay, for that also psychology can be applied. Then dealing with physically challenged people or the ones with cancer, AIDS, etc. Especially with terminal illness. Patients with terminal illness, they also need help in order to, to accept the fact that they are diagnosed with a serious illness. And also to move forward, to motivate them that they can survive or they have to face whatever they are facing currently. So for all these things, we can apply psychology in the medicine field, in the medical field. Okay. Next one is economics, political science, and sociology. Shreya, please read out.
Psychology has contributed to and have drawn from these fields. Important factors here include the study of micro-level economic behavior, understanding consumer decisions making,
understand consumer behavior, savings behavior,
decision-making, exercise of power and authority, nature of political conflict, voting behavior, issues related to socialization, group behaviors, intergroup
conflicts, etc. There are n number of topics in these three fields: economics, political science, and sociology. In politics, we already discussed about the elections, voting behaviors, who are likely to vote, cast a vote to whom, and how can one candidate gain more votes from people. How can they be approached in a psychological manner? Strategies which we can apply during elections. Then how can we actually exercise power and authority over people. So for that, for those things, psychology is important in the field of political science. In economics, everything about money, how to gain more profits, how to manage our resources, how to manage our expenses, then micro level economic behaviors, the economic behaviors that we engage in, that is how much we spend, how much we gain, how much income we have, then why do we spend so much on something that we do not need, or do we really need something that we spend money on, all those things. Then savings behavior, what are the strategies we can use to save money in a psychological manner, not in a business mind but in a psychological manner. Then all those involves motivation, our moods, emotions, everything, our learning, then conditioning, you learn that in the learning chapter, learning behaviors, everything. Then sociology generally deals with socialization process, how are groups formed, what are the steps in group formation, how can conflicts arise in groups, then minimal group, then majority, minority, understanding the difference. Then if you are a part of minority group, how to influence the people in the majority group. We can use psychological strategies for that also. In class 12 we have a whole chapter on that, persuasion and all those things. Okay, so that is about these three fields: economics, political science and sociology. Okay, next one is computer science. Sanjana, read.
Computer science has been making efforts in mimicking the human mind. It can be seen in terms of how the computer is structured, its memory, storage options, sequential or parallel processing of information, etc.
Yeah, we learned a model for this, isn't it? What was the name? Find the full form. M stands for model. What is it? I told that human mind is similar to the computer system, and we discussed about, I think, cognitive psychology or cognitive perspective. And there is a model in that field. What was it called?
Say programming.
Not programming, related to that.
Processing.
Processing, okay. So processing and model is there. What is the I?
Information processing model.
Information processing model. Anytime we discuss about computers and human mind, you should think of IPM. That is information processing model. In that what happens is, in memory, in the theories of memory, we have one information processing model. And similarly, I told you, encoding, storage and retrieval. Encoding, storage, last one is retrieval. Suppose if we are comparing human mind and the computer system, what happens in human mind is the same, and computer system is also this one itself. That is these three processes. We encode something, that is we register something. If it is in computer, we type it and store it, or in some other way. Then second one is storage. We store that in different memory system. In human mind it's different memory system. In computers it is dash and dash. Mainly what do we call them? Memories.
RAM and ROM.
Yeah, RAM and ROM. Okay, so we store that there. Now if you want an information, what will you do? You'll retrieve that. That is the third process. Mainly this happens in the information processing model. Okay, you encode or register something, you store that. Finally, if you want, whenever you want a piece of information, you will retrieve that. Retrieve means you will recall it. Again, remember I asked about your 5th standard class teacher or something? Some of you? I think Abdul and Abhinav, isn't it? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is also retrieval. You had already encoded that and you stored that information and finally you retrieved that when I asked. Until then you didn't remember about it, isn't it? So the same thing happens with computer. If you want to see the photos of your 5th standard Onam celebration, you can go and search and find out, isn't it? So it has already been encoded and stored there. The only thing is we are retrieving it. So that is also related to the computer science. It can be seen in terms of how the computer is structured, its memory, storage options, sequential or parallel processing of information. Processing of information, that is generally the processing of information. So computer science is over. Now next is law and criminology, which we have already discussed. Psychologists may be interested in topics like eyewitness testimony. I told you what that is. The efficiency of the witness, that is the eyewitness trustworthy? Is that person healthy to give this eyewitness testimony? We can check all that. Then factors influencing the decisions taken by the jury. What are the factors that can influence the jury as such? Then have you seen a series named How to Get Away with Murder? Anyone? Have you heard of it?
I haven't watched it, but it's very famous.
It's very famous. And in that, if you have watched, you would clearly know how this person is trying to influence the jury. Okay, lots of psychological strategies are applied there. Okay, then signs of guilt in the accused or culprit by learning micro expressions. Then how are the forms of exaggeration? I mean, when we study about non-verbal communication in social psychology, we learn about this. Okay, what are the exaggerated expressions, body language, all those things. So with that, we can easily find out if a person is telling the truth or not, or does that person has guilt in that in his or her mind. Then degree of punishments. What is the degree of punishment that is to be given for a particular person? I told you in the process of learning, we learn about reinforcements and punishments. Like for example, like when you were in smaller classes, if you get good marks, what would be the response from the side of your teachers?
Stars.
Stars, yes, okay. And what would happen if you get very low marks? Suppose a teacher has taught you 100 times about the same thing, and in the question paper the same concept was asked and you made a mistake there. What would be her reaction? You would be with stars.
Black dot.
Black dot. I'm asking about her reaction.
Disappointed.
Huh?
Disappointed.
Disappointed. Okay, and what will he or she do? If it is a dictation, what will she do? Huh?
Punishment, imposition.
Punishments, impositions, etc. Is it not? Yeah. So that is because punishments and reinforcements, they are used either to either to make sure that one good behavior is repeated again, or to make sure that a bad behavior is never repeated again. Okay, to stop a bad behavior or to encourage a good behavior. That's why we use reinforcements and punishments. So here in regarding the concept of culprits also, we can decide what degree of punishment is required for this person to change based on psychological factors, psychological theories. So that is about law and criminology. Next is mass communication, our favorite field. See the picture? See, we order some food and then we get this thing, this half, but in the ad we can see this part. Is it not? Reality versus expectations? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Why is Rose sitting like this? Thinking of the burgers? Okay. So that is how they play with your mind actually. They use psychological strategies and then attract you to increase the attraction value of their product. They prep that for, see in this picture you can see it has been prepared for 4 hours. Prepared since 4 hours. Okay. But the thing that we get in the shops within 60 seconds. Because customers are waiting now, so they can't, take 4 hours and then provide them with a burger, obviously. So this section includes the print as well as the electronic media. They have a major influence on our thinking, attitudes, and our emotions. Psychology helps in developing strategies for better and effective communication. For example, a journalist in reporting news must know the reader's interest in the story. And again, if this picture was given, the left part, this one, if this was given on the menu card or this was given as the ad, would you actually buy it? Or I'll reframe the question. If both these pictures, if 1 and 2 is given, which one are you supposed to order, or which one are you likely to order?
2.
Obviously 2, isn't it? But the thing is, both are the same. Okay, one is the form where the burger has makeup, the other one is the natural one. Okay, fine. So even during our childhood, if something comes free, we have a tendency to buy that, isn't it? Yes, with our health drinks, with our biscuits and all those stuff. Yeah, even now, Kinder Joy. Kids are crazy over that. Yeah. Then we have music and fine arts, especially the topic of music therapy. It's a growing field now, music therapy. Okay. So in arts and arts as well as in music, in fine arts, music, in paintings, we can apply psychology. And most of the depictions of abstract paintings, the artists, the modern artists to be precise, they expose their emotions through these paintings and all. Okay, and music therapy, that has a healing property also. There is continuous research going on in that field. And last one is architecture and engineering. Any architect must satisfy the clients by providing mental and physical space. If you are building a new home or an office space, you would think of the peaceful atmosphere that you want, isn't it? Your comfy space. Even if it is your balcony, if you're renovating it, you will think of the things that gives you peace, that gives you happiness, that are more likely to make you comfortable. So these architects and engineers, they have to know a bit of psychology if they have to design something that is really comfortable to their customers. Engineers must also take into account human habits in their plans for safety, for example, on streets and highways. Have you seen the reflectors? Reflectors in different colors, red, white, yellow and all on the roads. Yeah, that is because it needs to grab our attention. We have some physics behind it, but also attention is involved. That is again psychology. The psychological knowledge helps in a big way in designing of all mechanical devices and displays. That's it. I've taken 3 minutes extra. Sorry for that. Okay, so please read up that portion. I hope you have understood. And again, if you have any doubt, please come back and ask. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.